You're on.
Stay up. We're on. Okay, late night from Willowdale. I think we did post a video a few weeks ago but this is just an update. So we're on the eve of the Democratic Convention, and a couple of thoughts. Let's start with the one that went on last week in Cleveland. I'm not going to edit everybody so much editorial on that one, but what I think it's important to remember that everyone's scared of Donald Trump. Everyone comes up to me and says, "Oh my God, I hope he's not elected in November." And I said, "No, that's not a chance. Hillary will destroy him. She will take him apart." And I still believe that, despite the fact the poll numbers are close and all that. In the end, Donald Trump will self-destruct. His nuttiness, his invective, his meanness, his all the crap that he spews will do him in. The debates will be fascinating, but they said that Donald Trump defeated all the other Republican candidates who were not bad debaters, but the thing is, he's never gone up against Hillary Clinton. Who knows? The Republicans he defeated were a nutty right-wing fringe, maybe with the exception of Jeb Bush and John Kasich. But he didn't defeat much. That was easy. These are people who still believe the Earth is flat and the world was created in 6 days, and they don't believe in climate change, and that was easy to defeat them. They didn't have much substance. Now he's going to go up against somebody who actually knows what's going on the planet Earth and actually knows the facts. And he will be destroyed. So you don't have to worry. Donald Trump will not be elected in November. And because Donald Trump doesn't really care. He knows it's a game. I know it's a game for him. It's all a game. He's taken the American people and the gullible media on a wild ride. A roller coaster ride, which we've never seen before in American politics. We've had crazy years in American politics. Goldwater in '64, 1968, but nothing like this guy. Donald Trump has spent his whole life defrauding people. Okay, that's what he's about, and he's now defrauding the American people. His wife's speech, Melania's speech, plagiarizing Michelle Obama's speech of 8 years ago, or in 2008, says it all about his campaign. It's all a fraud. A fraud, a fraud, a fraud. Donald Trump defrauded suppliers and contractors when he built his bankrupt casinos. Donald Trump defrauded the shareholders and investors who were stupid enough to believe in the guy. He's defrauded everybody. Trump University, it was just a fraud. It was just a pyramid scheme. He defrauded everybody, and he gets away with it, and he's proud of it. And it's like when Britain decided a month ago to leave the European Union, he said, "I'm going to profit from this." So he doesn't care. He doesn't really give a damn about being president of the United States. To him, it's a game. It's a great reality show, and he's loving it. He knows that people are stupid, and a good chunk of the people who support him are gullible, and they are stupid. And in November, now if he wins the White House for some bizarre thing, which is not going to happen, well, that's just icing on the cake for him, but that ain't going to happen. He knows he's going to lose to Hillary. He's going to have a lot of fun. He's going to insult her. He's going to say the nastiest things. He doesn't give a damn. After the plagiarism charges against Melania's speech, he was happy because all news is good news. He doesn't care. Donald Trump doesn't care about being president. To him, it's a game, it's a fraud, and when it's all over, he's going to write a book. It'll probably sell millions of copies. He'll make lots of money. For him, it's just running for the presidency is just for him is another way to make money. The people who believe the fraud, all these people believe in. It's the people who believe it, and you got to think about, right? And he appeals to all these people left behind through globalization and deindustrialization, the so-called white working class. he appeals to those people, like Bernie Sanders appeals to the same people. They're basically, I'm sorry, they have to say it, but they're pretty stupid. They don't know much about anything. But they're not living great lives, no question. And something has to be done for them. So, I'm not going to even, definitely, people who are left behind through globalization and trade agreements have to be taken care of, no question. Through retraining or generous social benefits, that's absolutely true. But Donald Trump has appealed to them, and they believe in his message. And he doesn't give a damn about low-income people. He screws low-income people. That's what he does. You know, it's funny. Nicholas Kristof had a piece in today's New York Times. He traced, and because, you know, I never really thought of Donald Trump as a racist. I just thought of him as an opportunist. He'll just use anything to get attention. But actually, Nicholas Kristof in the New York Times today actually traced his history. Yeah, he has a history of screwing black people, of screwing Afro Americans. He has a history of it. He does not like black people. And when he visited one of his casinos in Atlantic City, they asked all the black staff to get off the floor. He does not like black people. So, you know, maybe he is actually a racist. I just saw him as an opportunist. He's clearly an opportunist. And frankly, I don't believe he believes in anything. Yeah, I'll throw that out. Oh, we'll abandon our NATO allies. Let the Russians roll in Eastern Europe. Who cares? You know, he said that in the New York Times last week. It was amazing. Yeah, who cares? You don't pay your bills? You're out of here. You're evicted. We don't care. We're not going to... Like, he sees the United States as the enforcer. You pay the bills, you get protection. You don't pay the bills, it's all over. Let Putin take you over. And that's the way he thinks. Everything comes down to economic terms for him. Who can make money and, you know. Anyways, Donald Trump doesn't have much ideology. He doesn't really care about anything. All he wants to do is make money, and he's not as wealthy as he says he is. He's probably only wealthy. He's probably worth about $250 million, $250 million. Every time if you bring that up, he'll sue you because but a lot of people say, yeah, his evaluation he's not worth that much. Is he a crook? Absolutely. Oh, God. Yeah, for him to accuse Hillary Clinton of being crooked, are you out of your mind? Her money actually was made legitimately through giving speeches. She sold her intellect, as a lot of presidents do. And a lot of, you know, ex-office holders and luminaries do. They sell their intellect to make money. Bill did it. She did it. Obama will do it. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I'm not going to... I want to make this a shorter video. I was just saying Donald Trump is a fraud. He doesn't give a damn about being president. This election for him is just a game, and he knows he probably won't be elected in November. But the fact that he's come this far, he just sits back and laughs. He doesn't care what scandals attached to him. He just laughs. He says, "Boy, the American people are stupid, and I'm taking them for a ride, and I'm defrauding them, and I'm going to make a lot of money when this is over. Speaking engagements, books," and that's the way he thinks. And yeah, so. He has to be defeated, no question, but he's not. Hillary will destroy him, so you don't have to worry. Now let's move on to Hillary. Okay, so
let's say something about Bernie.
Bernie. Okay, there's this nasty email thing going on with WikiLeaks. Yeah, what is WikiLeaks, man? How do they get all this stuff? So now this thing, the DNC conspired against Bernie, and some of it was pretty nasty, you know. Bringing out the fact that he's Jewish, and it was pretty nasty stuff. And oh yeah, these people need to be fired, disciplined, whatever. That shouldn't have happened. Some of the stuff is pretty nasty. But the fact that the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, was biased towards Hillary, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sorry, Bernie was never a Democrat. He was an interloper. He was an independent. He came into the Democratic Party at late stage to run for president. And yes, the Democrats wanted a Hillary coronation. They felt that she deserved it after she was a loyal servant to Barack Obama, and she really helped him. Her and Bill helped him get elected twice. They felt, okay, let's break another ceiling. Let's have Hillary as president. That's true, no question. They wanted a coronation. He decided not to make him into coronation. Which is a good thing, because again, she becomes a better candidate, just like Barack Obama became a better candidate because of that primary fight with Hillary. She becomes a better candidate. She moves to the left a bit, which is good. But he was an interloper in the Democratic Party. He was not a Democrat. He hasn't spent 30, 40 years in the Democratic Party like Bill and Hillary. He hasn't raised hundreds of millions of dollars for Democratic candidates like Bill and Hillary. So why should the DNC be, dispositioned towards him? Or why should they? Of course, they're kind of annoyed that he took this fight to the end, and then he didn't want to endorse her. He was kind of a nasty loser. So of course they were finding this whole thing irritating. Don't be wrong. Some of those emails are nasty, and the people who sent them and people are just campaigning against him is nasty. Those people need to be fired or disciplined or whatever, no question. But the fact that the Democratic National Committee wanted Hillary to get the nomination was clear. That was their favorite person. They felt that she was a loyal servant to the party, and she deserved it. And yes, it was they wanted a coronation. I get it. And that irritates a lot of people. And Bernie did make her a better candidate, no question. And he's getting a prime speaking spot tomorrow night at the Democratic Convention, on Monday night. So, but remember, he was not a Democrat. He did not. Brian Mulroney always said it, you dance with the people that brung you, okay? If you're loyal to the party, as the Clintons have been, as you know, for many, 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 many years, and raised lots of money for Democrats, they deserve actual favoritism. So that's the way I look at it. Despite some of this stuff was pretty nasty and should be disavowed. But Bernie's got his prime speaking spot tomorrow night, on Monday night, and and then now going further with Hillary, I think she picked a good running mate with Tim Kaine. This guy's fluent in Spanish, he's folksy, he's intelligent, extremely intelligent, and I think that was a good choice. It shows that Hillary just wants a guy who can step into the job, and it's a guy who's smart and a policy wonk just like her, and that was a good choice actually. The email scandal's a joke. I'm talking about the latest WikiLeaks things. That has nothing to do with her. That has more to do with the DNC. But her email scandal's a joke. Much ado about nothing, okay? Much ado about nothing. That she used a private email server, whatever. The whole State Department thing was kind of screwed up anyways. It wouldn't be an issue unless the hate machine that exists in part, the Bill and Hillary Clinton hate machine that's been going on since the Clintons were in public office, particularly in the White House. That thing never ends. Okay? The Republicans have a whole department devoted just to hating Bill and Hillary Clinton. They do. It just goes on and on. They accuse the Clintons of everything. Well, I have to admit, Donald Trump accused Hillary Clinton of destroying the world. And she'd probably think, wow, I didn't think I had that power. Donald Trump accused Hillary Clinton of destroying North Africa, the Middle East, Central Asia. And I thought, wow, I didn't think Hillary Clinton had that kind of power. But yeah, the hatred towards the Clintons in the right-wing, nutty fringe right-wing of the U.S., particularly in the Republican Party, is stunning. It's absolutely stunning. They accused Bill and Hillary of killing with their close friend and aide Vince Foster in 1993. Whitewater never turned out. Of course, the Vince Foster thing was a joke. That never turned out to be anything. Whitewater turned out to be nothing. Benghazi, of course, Hillary's testified twice on it. She knows her stuff. That was nothing. She did nothing wrong. It's just, in fact, Chris Stevens, the ambassador to Libya at the time who was killed, his mother says, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of my son being brought up in Republican crap like it happened at the convention. She wrote a letter to the New York Times that I'm tired of this, using my son who was killed in this horrible event and using this political propaganda. Hillary did nothing wrong on this. I think she has some obviously flaws. Encouraging the Libya intervention was, as Canada and Stephen Harper did, obviously a bad thing, right? We know what's happened to Libya. She's too pro-interventionist, not a good thing. But I think when she's president, she'd be a bit more mellow. And she does take advice from military people, which I like, because military people tend to be conservative. The best thinkers are in the Pentagon. The best and the most conservative thinkers, in terms of they don't want to intervene. They don't like intervention. You know who likes intervention? People in Congress, people who have nothing at stake. They like intervention. But no, the most conservative people in terms of intervention are in the Pentagon. She takes a lot of advice from military people, so this could be good. Yeah, the email scandal, not an issue. It's all about the hatred towards her. It's much ado about nothing. She is the most picked apart, most examined person in the world. What don't we know about her? So, yeah, she's also the most qualified, and she's pretty smart. And Cleve and I watched her at Indigo a couple of years back, 2 years, 2014, when she was signing books at Indigo. I just watched her. You always learn a lot of people watching how they interact. She's very sweet, talking to people, getting pictures taken with babies and all that. This evil sort of image of Hillary Clinton just doesn't bear out, does not bear out. And I think she'll be a good president. And anyways, now we're in 16 minutes, which is not what I wanted to do. But basically, I just wanted to, email scandals. Is much ado about nothing. This is basically about the right wing in the U.S. The Republican Party has become so nutty and right wing that Donald Trump was able to hijack it and decimate all their nutty candidates. Ted Cruz, Ben Carson. Oh God, the list goes on, right? Marco Rubio. The destruction of the best thing that comes out of this is the destruction of the Republican Party. So, all right. So I think we're moved on. This will be an interesting week in Philadelphia. Certainly, I think it'll be a more interesting convention than the Republican one.
Talking about terrorism in Europe.
Now, yeah, lots. Right, we didn't so much to talk about terrorism in Europe. Yeah, it's hard to. I mean, the thing in Munich was just a disillusioned kid that had been bullied and had nothing to do with terrorism. And that's the thing too, right? People always jump to conclusions on terrorism. The Egyptian airplane that went down the Mediterranean a couple of months ago had nothing to do with terrorism. It was mechanical errors, mechanical faults. Remember the TWA plane that went down over Long Island in 1986, the 747 on its way to Paris? Everyone said terrorism. No, it was just deregulation in the U.S. No, they weren't taking care of the planes, and it just broke apart. And the Egypt Air one showed there was fire in the cockpit. There was nothing to do with terrorism, and people always jump to conclusions. The kid in Munich, just a kid that had been bullied, and he was angry, and he was no different than all those screwed up kids in the U.S. that commit gun violence. But yeah, Nice, Brussels. It's I can't remember now because there have been so many. It's every day there's another tragedy. There are no easy solutions to defeating this nutty ideology, and I still believe it has less to do with religion. Cleve totally disagrees than it has to do with people who are disaffected and screwed up. France has very, very strict rules about secularism. France does not integrate Muslims very well. There are neighborhoods in Paris that are suburban neighborhoods in French cities that are ghettos. They're disgusting. People are living in poverty. The racism in France is intense. This idea, they ban the hijab, they ban all that stuff. It doesn't work. And you create a lot of resentment. Cleve thinks it works. He disagrees. But it builds resentment. And the French have done a pathetic job of integrating immigrants, particularly Muslims, immigrants from North Africa, from the former colonies in North Africa and the Middle East. And there's blowback, frankly. And doesn't explain it all, but Canada, again, I hate to blow our own horn, but we do a much better job of integrating people because we don't have these same rigid sort of philosophies. And I'm a secularist. I'm an atheist. I don't, but you got it. I also believe in tolerance, and that's this Pride T-shirt. This is from a couple of years ago. Wherever it is. I volunteered for Pride this year because Pride represented not just gay rights or LGBTQ rights. It represented tolerance, diversity, Canada that we have, and Are we still on, Clete, or we died?
We're still on. Sorry.
Oh,
sorry.
the screen
I should have told you that. Yeah.
We're still on. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, the screen died. But you know, when the Black Lives Matter protest happened, and I was working in the parade, I was irritated after I heard what had happened and all that, because I thought, I didn't think that protest was necessary. They could have had a symbolic 30-second or a minute, but to go on for 30, 45 minutes, whatever, and make all these extortionist demands. I thought, well, pride represents diversity and tolerance. You had to lead, and this is a dated issue now, 3 weeks old, but you had the lead float in the parade just behind the Prime Minister. Like, why did this have to happen? Pride is gone. Pride is more than just gay rights. It's about Canada. It's about diversity. It's about tolerance, and that's why I volunteer for it. Because it's about that, and just like it's. So yeah, I'm going off on a tangent. I didn't want to, but Canada integrates people better, and Pride, I think, Pride is sort of become a celebration of diversity, and that's why I think we don't see the violence that you see in Europe. We don't see in Canada. Thank God. We don't see it here. So because people are more integrated, they're more happy. It's not that there aren't problems. We know the problems. We know the problems with the police and the black community and the police. We know the problems with the police. Believe me, I'm not a fan of cops. And so, and of course in the U.S., and I think I'll end on this, because actually there was a guy on Fareed Zakaria's show today on CNN that was very good. He was talking about the United States has never come to... In Canada, we're slowly coming to terms with the fact that we murdered a lot of Native people, and it's still going on, and truth and reconciliation, all that. It's slowly happening. Canada's going through a process that South Africa, Chile, Rwanda has gone through. Germany went through denazification. The United States has never gone through a denazification program or truth and reconciliation. They've never come to terms with their genocide and the slavery that they perpetrated against black people, and they need that. And this violence, these assassinations that are happening with cops killing black people, they are assassinations. And of course, then the follow-up. A lot of angry black people killing cops. I mean, it's...
Why don't they call that terrorism?
Well, it is a form of terrorism, I guess. They don't call it terrorism because terrorism is only something related to Muslims, Clay. Like, that's just... Terrorism is only a word related to Muslims. I mean, that's just sad but true, basically. That's the whole thing about, is that terrorism? Is that not terrorism? Well, if there are no Muslims involved, it's not terrorism. I mean, we live in this bizarre, screwed up paradigm here. But yeah, the U.S. needs truth and reconciliation. They have a racist history. They've never come to terms with it. Civil War ended, Reconstruction went back, Jim Crow laws, Civil Rights Movement never really solved anything. It's still 1 in 3 black people go to jail. The statistics are stunning. So, anyways, I'm going to end on that because that's this fellow on the show. On Fareed Zakaria's CNN show, GPS, which is actually pretty good. Had a lot of good people. He said, yeah, the Americans have never come to terms with genocide. Their genocide. Okay? And they don't seem to want to. And even though they're in progress, right? African-American president, that's got to be some progress. And, there's a lot of black police chiefs out there, too, in the U.S. But, yeah, they haven't come to terms with what a racist country, what a racist history they have. So, Jeff, there is still... days in Alabama. They have a day. I think they celebrate Jefferson Davis. They don't even want to. And actually, there's one day where they celebrate Martin Luther King and Robert Lee. Like, I mean, they love the Confederacy in the South. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy place. Anyways, I went on way longer, Clay. But I was, the United States is a country in convulsion. We're not seeing a new civil war. Crime rates in the U.S. are actually way down. We're not seeing a new civil war. We're just in a crazy period right now. But it's certainly a country on edge, and Donald Trump's craziness that it certainly doesn't help. So we'll see what happens. I think if Hillary Clinton really wants to do something, she's got to start talking about a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. talking about it, the genocide that was committed towards black people. It was genocide. So, anyways, I've rambled on. Let's see what happens in the Democrat. 25 minutes, way too long. Sorry, but I think I made some good points. So, Cleve, let's shut this off.
Okay, interesting statistic. More white people have been killed by cops in 2016 than black people.
Oh, there you go.
But I'll leave them to look.
Yeah, and we'll just leave it at that. And yeah, let's.
Okay, we're off.